Okay. Excellent connection.
Holy shit, is this closed captioned?
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Excellent connection.
Impressive. Most impressive.
I guess we'll get to see who truly sounds like the bigger redneck, and the algorithms can't figure it out what they're saying.
Holy shit, is this closed captioned?
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Excellent connection.
Impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, damn. I'm gonna have to pause the stream just because I don't know who's talking.
Right. Okay.
You guys sound the same on the stream.
I am ready from a technical standpoint, so you can take it off whenever you're ready, Joe Bob.
I was hatched ready. Hello and welcome back to Sheer Fucking Hubris, a podcast, I guess now a live stream, that was started by three buddies, three Star Trek fans, to talk about originally Star Trek Discovery. Now we've broadened our scope to all the live action Star Trek shows. I am Joe Bob. Joining me is Mr. Willie
Hello?
and Biblio Warden.
Yo.
And we have added a fourth member as our permanent guest ride along, I guess. He's our recurring guest star, or he's our Janet Reno. So don't call him a token hire because we already checked that box. Toaster Jeeper is with us.
Hey.
Hi, baby.
Okay, none of that back and forth.
Yeah, no, Star Trek may be progressive. It's not that progressive.
And
Oh.
we're very excited to bring you a little bit different format for Sheer Fucking Hubris. This is the first episode of the good, the bad, and the hubris. I don't know, whatever the adjective form of hubris is. Where we're going to, we watched the first episode from the 3 seasons of the live action shows that are currently out. That'll be Discovery Season 4, Star Trek Picard Season 2, and Strange New Worlds Season 1. And if you're thinking those came out like months ago, we are lazy, so fuck it, we're getting around to it now. And we are going to pick from each one of them what we thought was good, bad, and what we thought was sheer fucking hubris. Talk about it. And then at the end of the night, we'll each kind of vote for which of the actual episodes was good or bad or sheer fucking hubris. And I think this is a good selection of episodes because I really do feel like there's one good one here, there's one bad one here, and there's one that's just, we'll see, but I think there's a whole lot of sheer fucking hubris involved. All right, so first episode we watched was Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 1, The Kobayashi Maru. Now, we're coming off Season 3, which was, if I'm being fair, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say it was probably the low point of 2020. Started off really well, and just that why I can't. We're not going to get into it because I can't tell you how much I hated the last third of last season. All right, so the Kobayashi Maru. This episode was about. It starts with
Checking the
Albana.
box.
What?
I said it was about checking the box, right? The Fed president had to go check the box. That was like the focal conflict for a while, till they just abandoned that.
Well, let's see. It starts with the albino bullies with butterfly wings and nonsense, and then we went on to. We're back, and we're going to try to do Federation stuff, and the Federation president wants to come along, and then base gets warped, and I guess Booker's planet's in trouble or gone. Quajon got Alderaan, and it's gone. And we need to. I wonder if we'll go back and pick up Non.
She's floating on a seed ship, man.
He should have. When it happened, he should have yelled, "Khan!" I don't know. This episode was less fun than a walk across the peninsula of Bataan. Anyway. I should. All right. So, Willie.
Oh, boy.
I want you to tell me. All right. Good, the bad, the hubris. Give me the good.
Oh, Jesus. Talk about
episode.
your Sophie's choice. Let's see. The good in Discovery 1. The name. Because it called attention to a time when I was less cynical about Star Trek.
I'll allow it.
I'm joking. No, that's a cop out. I was just the good. Damn it! Did we have to start with Discovery? I was really hoping. It's like I'm the last one at the table who wanted to order, and I really wanted to hear what the table was going with first on that one.
Well, I just really wanted to hear your good from this episode.
I'm searching high and low. Okay, the good from this episode,
and it can't be one of your traditional backhanded compliments. We're gonna be, goddamn it, we are gonna be more positive this year.
Okay, so saying the good from this episode was that Sukal had a very minor part to play. Is that one of those backhanded compliments? It's not gonna fly.
That's not gonna fly. Give me something you actually liked about it.
Son of a bitch. Okay. I actually liked that they are going about trying to rebuild the Federation. I think that it will probably it's a natural way to try and introduce a lot of maybe member species and things that we're not going to just roll our eyes at and be like, no, they've totally fucked up canon at that point. Because, well, this show's all about fucking up canon, but at least they've gotten into a point now where they can do it, and nobody can get pissed about it. So I guess I liked that that we're kind of going to episodically be, maybe seeing some new material.
Yeah, but this wasn't very episodic. Nothing really happened. This is all set up.
Well, yeah, but I could see now where we kind of get go to planet A and do this, and then next episode's go to planet B, and then you have kind of that overarching story arc. But maybe they learned their lesson from the red splotches, and they won't. Pacing will be. I feel like pacing is going to be very critical in what they're trying to do with this season.
Okay.
Is that an acceptable answer? Like, for instance, the butterfly people, I will give a modicum of a nod to the reason the butterfly people were all drunk. Although I'm given to understand that, like, if you're Poles, move on a planet,
18
it's going to do a
degrees.
lot more than just make your
Yeah,
make
that's.
your butterfly wings not.
I think that's
Maybe I'm getting into the
Armageddon.
bad here, but it's going to make it a little bit more difficult than just flying. Like, I mean, imagine the momentum shift of even one of those degrees happening. Traveling at thousands of angular feet per second.
Well, no. It's not the poles. It's the magnetic poles.
Oh, the magnetic. What the fuck? That doesn't even matter, right? You've still got everything on. Yeah.
Well, you don't point true north anymore. I mean, it happens with our planet Earth's magnetic poles
Yeah.
move too. It just does it very slowly over millions of
Any
years.
particular reason that? So what were their satellites down for? Did they power their satellites with dilithium too?
Yeah, that was the implication.
So have we just made dilithium like fossil fuels of the 32nd century or something? Is everything going to be powered by it because the plot needs it to?
Uh-huh.
You're sitting there in the middle of goddamn space. Put a fucking solar panel on the thing. It was just a satellite.
Well, and dilithium is God, we're already going nerdy. Dilithium's there to regulate the warp reaction. It's like control rods in a nuclear reactor. So that would mean each one of those satellites had its own miniature warp reactor. Apparently, fuck it.
Well, if
Look,
they were running off the
it,
lithium, shouldn't the burn have fucked them up?
Oh, these are new ones.
Why did it blow up all the ships, but it didn't touch the satellites?
We're on the good.
Fuck you, Alex Kurtzman.
We're on the good. God damn it. Like it didn't make it.
Oh boy, just drop it. Let's just call this fucking podcast the Hubris from now on, because that's where this is going to devolve every episode.
I'm not even sure how we're defining hubris. It's kind of nebulous at this point.
Oh man,
Warden or Jeep. I mean, was there something that you liked, that you legitimately liked in this episode?
Well, yeah,
I'll allow the cop out of I agree with Willie.
in the interest of time, no.
Well, in the interest of there may not be 4 legitimate things that we like, 4 separate ones. So,
I honestly found a lot of the characters that we used to find annoying less so.
Because they were gone?
Because I don't know if it's just that there was less of them or what. I mean, it really has. They've just gone all in on this is the Burnham show. So I believe that might be part of it. But
if you got them.
Way to not make it a backhanded compliment there, Warden.
I mean, the show's pretty as usual. I mean, it's always been pretty. That's never been a real.
Yeah, I mean, it looked good. I do not like the retrofitted or future fitted Discovery. Every time I see those damn unattached nacelles, I'm like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, we're only talking about good now.
This will be the shortest segment of the show.
I liked the my good was, I assume they did it on purpose, was the Galaxy Quest callback where they got back from fighting the flying butterfly men, and she's like, that was a hell of a thing. Because I say that a lot.
Actually, you know what? I really enjoyed the banter about the cat. And they're like, no. She doesn't appreciate it at all. She's like,
that was well written
because that is exactly what a cat is like.
Yeah, I guess
that was pretty good. Yeah,
I agree with that.
I was like, why did they bring Book? We're bringing him on First Contact missions before. I mean, again, and he immediately fucked it up, and I was like, "Yep, that makes sense."
That's right. Yep.
There is that you raised what a generally good point, which is the humor so far, at least in this episode, didn't universally land like a lead weight. Some of it was actually generally mildly amusing.
And that's true. Jeep, give me the bad.
Why did they take the time to set up the episode and show Book on his planet and then blow his planet out of the freaking sky? That just, what was the point in that?
Because Toaster Jeeper,
Emotional stakes.
this show is like a banana cream pie of emotion in the face. You're not allowed to just assume they were fathers and sons on the planet who loved one another. We had to show it because
Look.
otherwise you wouldn't feel it, right?
Look,
He had to
that-
get his little his tree spunk and blood necklace, gifted to him, or else it just wouldn't have been a tragedy at all, right?
and in fairness, that's better than getting tree blood in your uncle's spunk. So
But out of all the planets in all of the space that they travel through, they had to blow up Books.
Nice callback to Casablanca there. And
it's
all
not
the
a
gin
contrivance. Look, I'll tell you the point of that. The point of that was to get somebody's kid in the show. Because, I mean, he didn't audition for that part.
He was quite robotic.
Anyway,
Oh man,
That whole
was
scene
pretty
was
bad.
quite robotic.
Yes, it was. Oh, what about we now know how to say "run, Forrest, run" and Kejwani or whatever it is. That had to have been what he said. Oh, actually, no, I'm jumping shows here. This is gonna be really hard for me because I watched all three of them today,
Mhm.
and they're all kind of agglomerating into one beautiful mass. All right. Well,
my bad was
well, hold
I
on.
did-
Now, Jeep didn't give us as good.
I asked if they agreed with you or had anything different to add.
I agree with Willie. I think that the setup at the very beginning, it's twofold. It's good and it's bad because the good in it is that they're trying to rebuild the Federation. The bad in it is they've taken a planet that has limited dilithium supplies and they're just handing it out like it's water. You know, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, at least they found the emperor of the planet to give it to.
True.
Like, how do you pick what?
I can't believe they didn't call. I can't believe they didn't call him the monarch.
I
Like,
know, right?
They
That's a
really
big-
fucking blew that one, didn't they?
I thought they did call him the
Uh,
monarch at one point.
No, they talked about the cat being the monarch. She said, no, she's a
that's
queen.
right.
And they're like, you've got a
That's
monarch prisoner? Like, oh, Jesus.
You think those were like descendants of Saru's space futterbys that he kept on the ship, every ship he's ever been on? I don't know. I don't think this season's gonna be rebuilding the Federation. I think he's gonna be figuring out whatever the fucked up Quajon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's definitely going to be your arc, figuring out that one.
the existential planet-destroying threat, yes, is going to be what we're dealing with.
We're gonna get 7 episodes in and find out Sukal just ripped a huge fart.
And that was
I shouldn't eat so much shrimp. I have gravity bombs flying out of my ass. It didn't happen until I moved to this aquatic planet. Now it resonates with all the water in the galaxy.
Watching, oh god, watching Saru and Tsukal was painful. It was like, well, I know what the Kelpian names for George and Lenny are.
Ah, yeah.
Oh man. So
My
Joe Bob,
bad
what
was
was your bad?
yeah. I did not. I mean, and look, this was. I think this is supposed to be bad, but I did not care for Madam President. I don't know. I guess in this timeline, Hillary won the election.
Sweet
'Cause
mother.
she's got that level of charisma.
Yeah.
And it was
Well, they're
it-
obviously setting up quite a conflict there, right? Like they didn't even try to make her likable or ethical or anything, right? And
right. Well, that's why it's
what
kind of a
what
you know.
what captain would have a measuring contest with the president of the Federation like that in front of a bridge of crew members?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Michael Burnham would, I guess.
Burnham.
Yeah.
I mean, this is space soap opera.
Question asked, question answered. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh man.
Why the hell are they researching an advanced spore drive? The spore drive is already more advanced than everything you have. Just fucking use it. Like, damn, it's
Didn't they
built
give it?
you know what it is. So like,
well,
why
They gave
why
it
is that?
some new name, right? Too, didn't they? They renamed it.
Well, no, they named a second one. It was like the Rainbow Road ribbon or something. I don't remember exactly. It was something.
I imagine they're looking for some version of the spore drive that doesn't rely on like a living being in like pain.
Samus doesn't seem to be in a lot of pain.
Uh,
Remember, they took care of that real quick in the 32nd century with their programmable matter and whatever.
Sure.
And this other thing that they're trying to figure out. But you won't bet that that's what blew up Quajon.
I mean,
Well, they had to come
Wait,
up with
you
a
mean
new burn.
you mean the thing that hit the star base is the same thing that blew up Quajon? Is that what you mean?
Well, I'm saying one of those two things is going to be some phenomena that was created that they made trying to find a better mousetrap. You know,
Well, I hope not.
okay.
I hope not, but you know, you never know. Or look, they could discover this and we never return back to these things ever again.
that's true. That is true.
That is likely.
And that may be the good of this season.
Did they add the Zoidberg sound? Because it sounds different when the damn thing flips after Black Alert. And it's not quite whoop, 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 but it's a very Zoidberg sound.
Oh man!
I swear. I mean, I'm
drive.
seriously asking. Because
I don't remember.
I didn't pay that close of attention.
you know,
That was
there were a couple callbacks. Like I almost felt like Adira. Is she gonna be? It almost felt like a callback to Son-in-Law. Do y'all remember what Pauly Shore was a thing?
yes.
Like every time something came up, he had like a little area of expertise in almost everything. He's like majored in karate for 2 semesters. She's like, oh yeah, host number 4 was a bird watcher. And host number 7 built this, built these resequencers or whatever she was working on. Y'all realize
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all.
y'all realize this is a second damn episode of Discovery where the primary antagonist was ice?
Frozen methane. You know what? Maybe the whole fart ripping thing is not so far fetched.
That's true.
You know,
Because they're like, where did this methane cloud come from?
you know, I'm still, I feel like it's kind of like Stewie talking to Brian. Does she just like randomly have conversations with herself, like on the bridge, and everybody just pretends not to notice? Or is she having these in her brain hole? Like,
I hate the boyfriend. I hate the dead boyfriend. I was hoping that would go away. I guess we're doing that.
Yeah, we're doing that. Oh, we're gonna find a body to put that thing in.
Yup. Yup.
Yeah. Well, we certainly haven't
How do we-
backed away from inclusion on this show, and we haven't gotten any more light-handed with our environmentalism. That's for sure. That would probably be. I guess maybe we're progressing into the hubris now.
Well,
Because. Go ahead, Warden.
okay, so I'll do mine back to back here.
Oh, that's right. I'm mad.
No, you're good. And I'm going back and forth about which is the bad and which is the hubris, because they're both similar. But my bad is I guess will be the whole conversation about. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but it just rubbed me wrong that Burnham was having the conversation about going out in the worker bee, and it was questioned by the president or whatever, and she's like, well, it's only logical. And I'm like, there was literally a whole thing like early on in Next Generation where the captain is very making a point that he can't go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this crew is pre-Next Gen. This is Kirk Pike Cowboy.
Yes.
No, we haven't even gotten to the fucking Cowboys yet. You just pull those reins back there, partner.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's going to be my bad is just, I'm like, that's not just, yeah. And that's more of a meta level inconsistency kind of thing that just rubbed me the wrong way. My hubris is actually something that you guys seem to have liked, or at least part of it is, and that's the whole scene at the beginning. Not so much that I didn't like the fact that we're rebuilding the Federation, but the fact that we're having what feels like a first contact scene that descends into a chase scene. And I'm like, haven't I seen this Star Trek movie before? Oh, wait, that's right. I have. And I'm just like, come on.
Didn't they actually?
That wasn't even a first contact scene, though, wasn't it? They were like trying to.
Yeah, I know, but
I mean,
they're there. Slightly different in each case, but it's all basically amounts to we open with a cold open of running from the natives, and it's just like.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Can we do something else, please?
Okay, so my hubris is kind of along those lines of doing something that's been done before. Because, and part of this is speculation, part of this is where it looks like it's going. All right, first of all, don't title it Kobayashi Maru. Like, if you don't understand the Kobayashi Maru, because the goddamn president's like, oh, the Kobayashi Maru, it trains you to avoid a Pyrrhic victory. I'm like, no, it doesn't. That is not what the Kobayashi Maru is.
Trains you to face a no-win scenario.
Yeah, which are two very, very different things.
Mm-hmm.
The Kobayashi Maru is sometimes you just lose. It's not sometimes you win a Pyrrhic victory. It's sometimes you just lose. And there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes the deck's stacked against you. But they made a big deal about that conversation and about what she sees in Burnham. And it sounded a little too close to the whole, you haven't really faced down the no-win scenario. Because Burnham basically said, I don't believe in the no-win scenario. And I felt like, oh my God, are they gonna try to do a much shittier version of what's already been done in Wrath of Khan?
Mm-hmm.
I hope not, but I think that's going to be the lesson. That's going to be Burnham's arc.
Again,
is what it felt like. Well, there's never specifically been a Kobayashi Maru arc. Burnham's had the same arc like every goddamn season to this point.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
clawing herself back and clawing. She's alone. But she
The
crawls her
woman
way
has
back
to
and finds
relearn the
family.
same lesson over and over and over again. I'm beginning to think she's brain damaged.
I mean, she did fly through space for like 12 seconds or something without any oxygen. So maybe.
Oh fuck, I forgot about that. I guess my hubris for this episode. It sounds like we're all coming back to the same point, and it's the Michael Burnham show. Like, she got all offended when the president's like, I don't think you're ready. She's been a captain for what, like 3 months? I think they said the timeline. It hasn't been that long. It's like a year, right? And she's like, I don't think you're ready. She's like, what do you mean I'm not ready? Oh, by the way, I wouldn't fucking take it anyway. But I want to know why you don't think I'm ready. I'm like, this is the most unprofessional. Like, I don't understand why they write her to be such an unlikable character in the face of authority.
Yeah, because I was going to correct you when you said unlikable character, because she's likable around books.
She's likable now. She's much more likable now than she ever was in seasons 1 and 2. But yeah, when it comes to like her strong, independent, feminine vibes, it lands like a lead weight, as Warden
She
eloquently
gets
put
along
it.
all right with Last Chance with Admiral Vance. But I mean, he also just kind of lets her do whatever the hell. So
Yeah.
well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you say
It
she's
just-
only been a captain for whatever, but I mean, this is the same Starfleet that let Saru take a cadet and make her his first officer. So
She's a lieutenant now.
yeah, she still got promoted.
Mhm.
She's still large and in charge, but I feel like the ratio has shifted.
How about those away mission uniforms? And
We can file
for
that under bad.
fuck's sake, please keep the goddamn camera upright. My brain is
hubris.
smart enough.
That's
My brain is smart enough to understand, if the gravity thing is fucked, why did it flip? Like just in in the X dimension or Y dimension. Like I don't understand why we had to do that. Like you could have just built a set that appeared upside down and just had them walk around and filmed it that way. And like to me that would have been more disorienting to have kind of made the scene like that much more intense, right? But putting them on the ceiling, I don't know, man. It's like when Olaf's head lands upside down on his body. Hey, why are you guys all hanging on the ceiling like a bat? It was just ridiculous.
That's pop culture, right?
That counts. Yeah. I have been really doubling down on the Disney lately. So,
Well, I mean,
we got Starfleet Academy back.
I was trying to
we
figure
did.
out. I was trying to figure out when they were walking on the ceiling, when they finally stopped the machine from spinning, how come they all didn't land on their freaking heads?
I wondered that too. But
Oh, what about
they-
the geosynchronous orbit? What the fuck? You're telling me that your
30
your
seconds.
AI, your fucking sphere can't just fucking figure that shit out, that we have to have Detmer put you into geosynchronous orbit when it's like we just totally forget that we pulled this semi-autonomous AI being into the computer. Are we ever going to pick that back up?
Completely forgotten about that. Look,
I
there's
feel
shit
like-
that happened in season 2 and 3 that they just went into the ether.
It's just gone.
kind of like the little relationship between JoJo and Linus, or the fact that Linus can see in like 18 different spectrum. That was,
Did Linus
they
die? Is he actually dead?
he committed suicide with Chekhov's gun.
I think he just didn't go into the future with them.
Look,
Oh.
So that's right. They matched when they were flying next to the space station. They matched the orbit of it, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So why
Yeah.
didn't
And
everybody on Discovery end up walking on the ceiling?
they have
The same-
inertial
Their inertial
dampeners.
dampeners were working.
But by the
Oh,
way,
so-
not only did they match it, but they made a point to show you 8 different times that they matched it.
Yes.
Yes.
I know
well,
we're not there yet, but
She
just
went full
contrast,
on manual.
just contrast the bridge scenes there versus the bridge scenes of Strange New Worlds.
mhm.
One is better than the other, in my opinion.
Hmm.
We had graduation ceremonies in 2 of them. 2 of the episodes we watched.
Mhm.
The speeches were very inspiring.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Star Trek Discovery, Season 4, Episode 1, Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Second.
I should say, as the elder statesman of the three episodes that we watched, it was refreshing to watch such a well refined and developed show that's entering into its 4th season.
It is a well-oiled machine at this point.
That is right.
It's a show that knows what it is. I
If
think.
one more person tells me, oh,
I
well,
don't-
the other Star Trek shows took 3 or 4 seasons to really hit their stride, I'm going to kick them in the face. Because this is not 1991. You're not on network TV. I still think the best season of Star Trek Discovery was season 1.
And that was only because of Lorca.
No, it's
Actually,
more than that. It's more than that.
Season 1.0 was really good. Season 1.1 was bad. Very bad. All right, so we're moving on.
Goddamn.
For the moment, yes.
I just got a text from my wife. Side note. Saying that the kids, my daughter's got a friend sleeping over tonight. Apparently, they couldn't decide whether to sleep in like a box fort
Mhm.
or in the beds or on the couch. So the compromise was they're now both asleep in my bed, so I've got to find somewhere else to sleep tonight.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Nice.
It's okay. We'll be doing this till 4 a.m. anyway.
I got no problem kicking 2 10-year-old girls out of bed. That sounds...
That sounded.
That's
Yeah.
not...
Keep in mind, this is live stream.
We're
There's
doing
no
it live.
7-second delay on this.
That is something that in the old days we would have edited that. But
Yep.
anyway,
Oh boy.
Okay.
Star Trek Picard, season 2, episode 1. Stargates. I don't know why I want to say it Picard in like a French accent. I don't know. Maybe it's
I don't know.
maybe it's
Wasn't
more
that kind of how they said it? They said, "Help us, Picard." I swear somebody calls him Picard. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody from season 1, wasn't it?
Oh fuck! I forgot. There was a comical French. He did
Yes.
the comical French villain. That's probably what I'm thinking about.
Probably
Mhm.
so.
He's defiled.
Uh,
God damn it!
he
Ah,
was Gru.
Sir Patrick Stewart, folks. All right, so season 2, episode 1, the Stargazer. That's 3 words, not just 2 like Stargazer. This
Mm.
episode was about how childhood trauma keeps Picard from fucking the nice Romulan lady. And also how the Borg can tear a hole open in space anywhere. anytime, but they chose to do
It's-
it way the hell away from Picard and then asked for him.
And then
And
send the queen in a gimp suit through the shields to take over the ship that somehow takes over all the other ships go with it. And
apparently anybody that outranks you as captain can issue the auto destruct sequence on your ship. We blow up, everybody's dead except for da 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 da. Q's back.
you know, I will give it this though. When you watch these three shows, I watched them all three today. It actually is refreshing that John Delancey was not the biggest overactor I saw in 3 hours of Star Trek today.
Oh my
You
god.
know, and that
Warden,
was
Warden, what's the good in the Stargazer?
I mean, I just say this all the time, but this gets repeated a lot. It seems to be where we go to, but I really like how the ships and everything went on this episode. The fact that they actually seem to have had a budget for special effects this year.
So not an intern going Control C, Control V.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
God damn it! Starship porn is my thing. Like, you thing stealer.
You said it's not a cop out to agree with somebody.
That's true.
It was just quite good.
It was pretty.
Yeah, and it wasn't even fakey looking CG. I mean, it held up. So I was pleased with that.
We got some sexy shots of the Stargazer.
Mm-hmm.
Stargazer, one word, not Stargazer.
Right.
This is pedantic. I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't understand why the registry number's 82893, and it's the Stargazer when the old Stargazer was 2893. Why not just add an A if you're gonna name it the exact same thing instead of put an 8 on the front? But that's so Trek nerd thing that.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say it. We'll edit that and post. Willie, you got a good. What'd you like about this episode?
Oh boy. Well, I think that unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree. Like the thing that I liked, I can't bring anything new to the topic here. The thing that I liked the best was that I felt like it was the most familiar when it came to ship design. We didn't try and get. Well, I shouldn't say that. When we get to Strange New Worlds, that was also true. But coming back from the last season card season 1, where, like you said, we just had this unbelievably advanced, powerful ship, and then had a bajillion of them. It was nice to go back to where, like, oh, we've got all these ships, and we've kind of refitted them with some new technology, and now we've put them back out into the fleet. I appreciated that. I liked being able to see the ship just its silhouette sometimes and be like, oh, hey, I know what ship that is, or at least what class that is, and not a single one of them had armor plating from the sarcophagi of fallen heroes before them. It was all metal, I thought it was very reasonable.
I do have a question. Most of the ships were obvious when they were ones that were, next in the line, so to speak. It was obvious it was a newer ship. That can't possibly be the original Excelsior that they were talking about, can it?
No, it's not. Nope. It's they use the design of the upgraded one from Star Trek Online.
Okay.
It's a different one, yeah.
Okay.
It had, yeah. I could go into the differences, but just trust me, it's as different as the Enterprise A is to the old Connies, at least. Well, really more. It's definitely an upgraded 24th century version of it. 25th century now.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
no, it is not the old Excelsior class, or even the refit that you saw like in DS9.
Right.
It's a completely new ship.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, and I would enjoy talking about that, but probably not in this forum. Okay.
Yeah.
Gee,
Cool. I got one other small good to throw in there, and that is the show producers not even being able to pretend that Whoopi Goldberg doesn't look old as hell, and them just having to totally own up to that one and write it into the script.
Okay, well, you just took my bad, so
Oh man, there's so much more in that scene. That was just one tiny part. So, all right, Joe Bob, was your good the ships?
Gee, yeah, I mean, yes, obviously. I'm an engineer. I've always loved the Federation ships in Star Trek. That's always been my jam. So they looked great. That shot of the era right at the beginning, the long sweeping shots around the Stargazer. I liked it. I'm really struggling on what to put for good in Hubris. So I'm going to hold off. I'll just say the good. I'll just agree with ships. Ships were good. I liked them.
All right.
Toast, did you have anything to add to the whole good discussion before we get too far?
Well, I was gonna say that the good was the end, but then the whole Q thing twisted it, and just made the whole thing screwy. So
How about this? I enjoyed the Seven and hologram Rios fight. That was fun.
Yeah, I could see that.
The scene was cool. I just have a slight bothersome pet peeve that I hate when there's different languages being spoken in a show where you have universal translators.
Mm.
I mean, but now they did just go right along, like she was understanding him and responding in English. But I don't understand why they had to make him like a greasy Mexican, like gangbanger. Why did I just don't understand these things?
Mhm.
The
But
Spaniard. And I have heard of this Rios.
oh boy, oh
Hey,
boy.
Jeep, what was your bad?
Q. I know there's going to be some reason behind it. To pull that back into this, it just threw me. I'm like, why would you set up the entire scene, play the entire episode, and then be like, okay, so it's all fake? I hated Q from the beginning, and I can't say that I like it anymore now.
Well, I don't think it's all fake.
Yeah, I don't know if it was all
I
fake
think that's
or
coming looped back into it.
Well, usually with Q, it's a fake setup, but he does have the ability to change time. So, I mean, I guess you're right. It could be not fake, but the way I'm seeing it right at the moment, okay, so they set this whole thing up, and it was all just a bunch of bullcrap to bring Q back into the episode, and that just kind of threw me. I don't know.
Well, I thought kind of along the same lines as what was said about Discovery. Haven't we seen this before, where Jean-Luc dies and Q shows up and says, "Let me show you the road not taken"?
Uh-huh.
Didn't we do that probably better in an
It's okay
episode
though.
called Tapestry?
Yeah, but we had a very self-aware moment where Patrick Stewart, maybe even improv, went, God damn it, Q. God damn it. Maybe even he felt the same way. God damn it, I've been through this once.
Yeah.
Like I was getting sort of mixed message on what the theme of this episode was, because I don't know.
You know what the theme of it to
Hello.
me was? Well, maybe I'll wait until you ask me for the hubris. Maybe it's
Do you have
nitpicky.
something? Do you have something bad to say about it, Willie?
Well, maybe it's just me being nitpicky, but for the whole premise, or one of the underlying premises of Star Trek being like a utopian society where we've done away with money and everybody's living well, it's pretty goddamn easy for somebody who's owned a chateau to kind of be a little high and mighty about that stuff. I mean, for fuck's sake, the man owns a vineyard, and
Didn't they
he's out
call
there.
him out? Didn't they call him out on that in the last season? Didn't they
Yeah.
say something about?
Pretty
Did
much,
they?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Rafi said that. Yeah, when she was
Is
living
rich
in like
mahogany.
yeah. The whole Chateau Picard thing still just kind of, I don't know.
Boy, how about Rafi? She went from meth head to she's right back in Star Trek, Starfleet as a commander. Rios, they put him right back in as a captain. Girardi, I guess, is right back in as Girardi.
So there's my
Girardi.
hubris.
That's okay. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Jeep. Go for it.
I was going to say that's my hubris right there. The last episodes, in season 1, they're showing all these people as, horrible, not great characters. And then in this season, hey, we're all back to being the perfect little angel Starfleet captains and lieutenants and whatnot. And I'm like, really?
I have to disagree with you on that point.
for
Girardi
it.
was not portrayed as a perfect little angel. She was drinking on the job. She was kind of an ass. And she's
But
Girardi.
they did clear her. They cleared her of murder, so that's always a plus.
Yes, that particular character. Yes.
I love that
will agree
Rios
with
was
you on that.
smoking.
On the
That
bridge.
was-
Well, I
that
mean,
was
Girardi was
perfect.
drunk, so he was
Yeah,
smoking.
that's true. Yeah, smoke if
The
you
hell
got
did
him.
he do? At first, I
Yeah.
was like, well, it's just a oral fixation. But then he's flipping the lighter, and I don't know if he ever lit it or not. But obviously, if you got the lighter,
Okay, I'm calling it. There's gonna be a scene later in this season where he's like going to light a cigar, and something catastrophic happens, and he just like his mouth goes agape, and it falls out of his mouth with like the lighter in front of his face.
Mm-hmm.
What's the over under on that happening?
Oh, I don't know.
50-50. I don't know.
Yeah, 70-30.
I think it's gonna happen. I'll be
Last
disappointed if
season's
it doesn't.
Discovery has kind of made me gun shy about doing predictions because I would have never guessed Screaming Man Baby is. They buried that lead so far down, it should have stayed buried.
Love
Boy.
it. Love it.
So,
Yeah, I was watching that episode of Picard. My wife was in there with me, and so at the end where she says like look up or whatever. She asked me, she was like, why did the Borg Queen keep saying look up? And I was like, well, apparently that's what his mom said when she was younger. And he's like, wait, you mean his mom was a Borg Queen? And I was like, no, that'd be stupid. I was like, oh
so we
fuck.
can't do it
I was like,
out.
I was like, they've done dumber stuff,
They
but
have.
not a lot dumber. So I was like, you know what? You may have nailed that one, baby. So
Oh no.
Warden, what's your hubris for this episode?
choosing just one.
I was gonna say this is my longest category.
It's I don't even know. I the whole damn thing. It's
I agree.
Hubris Bukaki.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's just like they are so freaking pleased with themselves on this show. The writers, I mean, I love Patrick Stewart, but even like they're just we're just so freaking clever, and look how clever we are, and it's just like, oh, I didn't.
I think that you are right. This episode was it smacked strongly of that. And I almost
Claw on Inspector Gadget has more humility than the writers of these shows. It's terrible. I agree with you guys on that one. But
I'm not as hard on it as you guys are. I felt like this episode benefited a lot from a second watch. And I may be doing the same thing I did on season 1 of Discovery and overthinking it. But one of the reasons I like season 1 of Star Trek Discovery is I feel like there were things there that they were trying to do, bless their hearts. And they wanted to, I don't know, actually say something or craft a deeper narrative or there were all these references that they dropped, and they tried to be subtle with some of them not so subtle. All these allegories to mythology and stuff. I thought that stuff was pretty cool, and there was a lot of that in this episode. I thought, again, I kind of felt like there's mixed messages on what they were telling you the theme of the episode was, but there was a whole lot of like, new beginnings and reinventing the old. So like, some of it's stupid, like redesigning the Borg Queen for no real reason other than to hide her identity. And then some of it is, look, it's not exactly deep, but I joked about Picard's childhood trauma won't let him fuck the Romulan MILF, but whose name happens to mean, oh shit, what did her name mean? I went blank.
Open and easy.
No,
It was something like that.
A
I
New
remember
Day.
what you
A
said.
New Day. That's what it meant.
Oh yeah.
So like, because of some past trauma, he can't start this relationship with a new day. And when the Borg transmission comes through, it's playing like the one French song that I know, Orient, Orient, which is a song about, like the last line is, my new life starts today with you or something. And it's, non rien de rien, je ne regrette rien, is I regret nothing at all. And then you had the Stargazer and the Excelsior, but they were the updated versions of it. So it's all this, kind of what's old is new and new beginnings. I mean, you've got all these broken people that are now back in Starfleet, apparently doing fine. And so they're trying to do a thing. Like another one was placing, the 10 forward bar in a historic district. So, again, it's like the old being, reborn and, finding a new existence with moving forward. I mean, I respect that they're trying to layer all this stuff in. Maybe it'll work. Maybe maybe I'm just reading too much into it, and this was not an episode that would benefit from a rewatch. if it pans out, I'll put that in the good category. For right now, I'm gonna put it in the hubris category just based on track record. But I don't know. I don't know. You guys have a thought on that?
Mm,
I'm kind of with you where you say, I mean, I appreciate the attempt. What I think about it will depend on how well they execute.
Right. But then, like I said, I felt like that was a heavy theme of the show, of this episode. But then you get mixed messages like Q showing up and saying, "Oh, it's the road, the end of the road not taken." I'm like, well, that's not really about new beginnings. Is this the same? Again, I thought, is this the same lesson we learned at Tapestry?
Mhm.
And then, the Borg, I don't know. Maybe Picard's going to learn to give them a new beginning or some shit like that.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the parallel of 7 of 9 pulling a Michael Burnham almost in episode 1 where she's like, blow it up, blow it back to God. Because, it was the same thing Burnham did with the Klingons. She's like, no, give them the old Borg hello. Like, I appreciated that she was the one being like, am I the only one here who remembered how fucked up these people were? There's like a bridge full of idealists, and she's like, we're talking about like gazillions of people here that they've
Mhm.
killed. I appreciated her voice of reason in that moment. I guess the first time I watched it, I missed that they were transmitting Article 15 or whatever, like, application to join, or something like that.
Mhm.
Article 15, whatever. Um,
Article
I guess I
15
missed.
quickly turned into Rule 34 when it went all tentacle porn with the
Yeah.
Borg Queen.
Um, but I don't know, man. I just don't get. I guess my problem is when I hear the name Picard and I see his glorious face on there, I just want to be called back to the next generation, and that's not what this show is. This show is not an episodic
Mhm.
sci-fi show. It's a 10 episode, movie, right?
Mhm.
With an arc and with social commentary. Like right. So social commentary, I forgot now because they've all run together. But like you noticed how they were like, and we're already in Discovery. They're like, and we're already researching new ways to make ourselves less dependent on dilithium. It's just like, it's so up in your face that's my hubris point on it is, we just can't get away from, because they're at the end, they're like, oh, the solar shield is holding up very nicely today, and you can actually see the sky. And I don't know, man. It's just, I guess I just want to sit back and enjoy some sci-fi, and I don't feel like Picard is going to do that again
This
this
is
year.
not a sci-fi show. I
No,
can
it
tell
is
you
not.
that right now. I don't think that this is going to be very.
And they were very heavy-handed with the whole time element,
Yes, yes,
early on.
they banged on time over and over again.
Mm,
Um,
so
Did we actually explicitly talk about bad for anybody yet, or because I've lost track?
I have two. I think we're basically
I mean, my bad.
conflating bad and hubris.
Yeah, well, I was conflating good and hubris because, like I said, I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, I said that the bad for me. I don't like it when movies call attention to, oh, you look older. They did it with Whoopi. They did it with Delancey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Picard, you look so old. And we're not going to spring for CGI to do this de-aging the whole time. So snap. Now I look like you. Like, okay, well, whatever. I would have accepted it. I was just going with it. It would have been okay. But you know, I didn't really. Look, again, this is all set up, so it's hard for me to really hammer on anything that's
Mhm.
too bad. So I don't really have one. If you by all means, if your Jeep had your bad,
Mhm. Yeah, my bad is the entire deal
Episode?
with no. That was the hubris, remember? No, the whole
okay.
scene with Laris and how uncomfortable that was from beginning to end. And
We
I
like
just
to honor our dead lovers by jumping back up on the old pogo stick even harder than before.
and
Harris, let's sit here and talk and use words that no human would ever actually say to one another. Yeah.
and it was just and there were times when Picard and Next Generation had romantic type involvement. This
It would have been much
was
better if they should have written it that he threw it to her, and then when she woke up the next morning, there was just like a data pad on the pillow. When she reached for him, and he was just like, "Peace out, I'm gone." Picard out.
You just got Lorcan.
Yeah. Oh, Jean-Luc, make it so. Make it so.
Oh dear
But-
God.
Oh boy.
Teddy.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Let's
Hey,
fly.
Get it. And don't spare the horses.
Oh man. You know what's funny is we were talking about
Baby, it's getting a little.
weren't we talking about before about Lorca just beaming his sperm out of women because he would never wrap it? Like if they can beam the grapes, then they can probably do that shit. I don't think that was that far off of a contraceptive method. Although
you're probably right.
honestly, his alternate universe spunk probably wouldn't have been compatible with her prime universe eggs anyway. He's probably telling everybody he was Catholic all over the place. This is my prime directive. But,
Oh, that'll never stick.
so yeah, that'll never stick. We'll get there. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. So I'd seen Picard once, right? Because we tried to do this once before, and I'd already watched Picard. I had not seen episode 1 of Discovery or episode 1 of Strange New Worlds until today, and I started with Picard because I was like, I need something familiar before I dive off into the unknown,
Mhm.
and I just don't know that was the right call on my part after watching it.
So who's gonna be the new Picard? Like what family member is he gonna pick up? Because they made all this big deal about second chances and
Well, his mom's the
new
Borg
life.
Queen.
And yeah, and he made a point of saying that he's the last Picard, which means he's not the last Picard.
Oh man.
Touche.
Also, I mean, dusty 98-year-old Twig and Berries are probably still virile in the 23rd century, 24th century.
25th.
You know, I mean, hell, there's 70-year-old men having kids now. I mean, in 400 years, you'd think those, plumbing may still be active at that point. But
It wouldn't shock me if he has a kid. Like, I mean, especially since, oh God. How the fuck would that work?
well,
Remember, he's an android.
Yeah, but didn't he get with Mother Gothel in Insurrectionists or whatever? Star Trek January 6th?
Well, the thing to keep in mind is that he's that not just an android, he's that golem thing. So he's like even more fully functional than Data was, is the
Well,
implication.
it's more the really odd implications of the notion that those golems can procreate with humans.
Oh no, dude. What's gonna happen is they're gonna splice his golem DNA into the synth chick, and she's gonna bear his seed. I can't even remember what her name is.
I think it'd be better if he banged a Romulan chick and it came out a toaster. She's looking like, what the fuck? It's like, oh, did he tell
Oh,
you?
Jesus. Oh my God.
Anyway,
Like Mecha Turtle. So.
I mean, he's probably
Anyway.
compatible with the Borg Queen, who may be his mother, so that's a little weird, but you know.
Just a skosh.
I think the golem thing, we're going to totally leave it alone again. I think it's going to be like the sphere Data.
They brought it up in this episode.
Did they? I'll admit, I kind of half-assed paid attention, but I
Guinan-
thought it was.
Guinan
I
said
thought it was.
something about it,
Yeah,
like
but
in here, whether you're flesh and blood or synthetic, something. Of course, he had a synthetic heart before, so I didn't fuck it.
So does it in any way make it less sincere when synthetic, android learns your language in probably 0.04897 nanoseconds so that she can speak to you in your native tongue? I thought that was pretty pedantic. She was like, "Oh, yeah." When she was given the toast, and she's like, "I had to speak in your language because it comes from the heart," and I'm like, "It's not. Doesn't really mean anything."
Well, no,
Doesn't really mean anything when you can just like download their language.
well, and I think that was. I mean, they pointed that out. I think that was a cynical scene. I hated that. That was stupid.
She's developed a ball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Agnes is jealous, jaded, all the above. I don't even.
Yep.
We're done with this. Fuck it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, let's move on.
If you've got a good prediction, then or anything else to add, then throw it in there. But
I was just gonna say, typically it annoys me when like we don't even try to make it a challenge to get the old band back together. Like, I mean, we're all supposedly doing all these other things, and then all of a sudden you just lickety split. We're all back. It's like he walked in, he steps off the transport. He's like, "Oh, 7. Well, I didn't get this far in the script, but hey, there you are." I just don't understand why we didn't try any harder than that to make it. Oh well, we didn't even have to rescue him from a dungeon.
No,
they were just there.
She's like, "Jean-Luc, I had to be here to talk to you about the integrated Borg technology on the walk to the bridge, so that no one will be shocked when somehow she starts taking over the whole fleet." All
right,
Strange New Worlds.
All right. The last episode we watched was Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the series premiere, titled, creatively enough, Strange New World. Jeeper, what was good about this one?
Well, seeing as how I am not so well versed in the Trek world as you guys are, it was very, I don't even know how to nostalgic to go back to the original. It reminded me a lot of TNG, and it was nice to pull it back to what I'm used to. And I would say that's my good.
I think that's fair. I watched this one after the other two, and I thought why the fuck was I so excited about going to season-long arcs? It's like this had like a conflict and a resolution and a little arc all in the same goddamn episode.
Mhm.
Like, what is this new episodic content format that's just coming out?
Mhm.
It's amazing. It's groundbreaking. I didn't realize how much I missed it, but like,
Mhm.
I have really gotten sick of having full episodes of nothing but setup. When
Yeah.
it was really stark contrast, these
Mhm.
two Strange New Worlds. Warden, what'd you think was good?
I love this so much. I mean, I'm not saying it's great, it's perfect or great or anything, but it was just like, oh my god. I there's a plot within the episode. Like, there's a story
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah, this was
resolution.
the only one that had a story. The other two
And
had a plot.
and there were continuing things as well. We talked about
Mhm.
Pike's deal with knowing the future and the stuff like that, and you know that they're going to keep talking about it, and that's great. There's episodic shows that have always had ongoing things as well, but the through line is,
I hope we
regardless what
stick
it
with that,
is, yeah.
by the way. I hope that wasn't the resolution in this episode.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Because he
hope
kind
so
of
as
had a
well.
little bit of an arc. I would like to stick with that.
Hmm.
They're not keeping the whole Discovery thing as secret as I thought.
Well, they seem to be trying and then didn't succeed very well.
Well, it's clear from the episode that Pike doesn't give a shit about rules and regulations. So
Exactly.
he was just like, just declassify it right now on this elevator. Hit it. At least the Admiral. I mean, because it's a far cry from when like he wouldn't tell his current paramour, what was going on. He just kept telling her it was classified.
I declassified it when I left the ship. I have an executive order. It immediately becomes declassified.
Do you have any condoms? It's classified. But of course, the Admiral had to go through the proper procedures to go through all that. But I don't know where I was going with all this, but I thought that they kind of tried to do their nods to Discovery to get away from it.
Hmm.
Fairly middling. Like it was still pretty obvious, it felt a little forced in some situations, but it wasn't like they just sat down and had like a powwow.
Shuttle Stamets now departing. Shuttle Stamets
I did
now
catch
departing.
that. Yeah.
Who put that in the background of this show? How did that get there? Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it still had its moments, though. I mean, a shuttlecraft chasing down Anson Mount on horseback, riding across the Montana wilderness beneath wind turbines. I was like,
you spooked my horse. Like, I can't believe that horse is still there. Jesus Christ. So Willie, that you're good.
What they should have done, they should have had him like galloping along, and all of a sudden the horse starts going kind of bonkers. He's like, "I'm caught in this jet wash," and the horse just bucks him off.
Eject.
I thought it was cool that they had Robert April and there's the Admiral, because he's previous captain of the Enterprise, so that's kind of a through line for him and Pike to have some sort of connection. I thought that,
You got blacker.
Well, yes, there is that.
I think he's only ever on the animated series, though, right? He was just mentioned in the others, so
right. And I don't think anybody considers the animated series especially canon.
You done stepped in it now.
Yeah, well,
we have a lot of fans that. I'm just kidding. I can't even finish that.
Was this the episode where they had Archer Station, or was that Discovery?
Discovery.
Okay, I did catch that one too.
Was it?
Yes, the Arthur's the Star
Oh, it's
Dock.
Archer Space Dock. Yeah, where they were building the new ships.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I liked so far very early, but I like how they're handling Uhura. I think it's kind of neat that they may actually succeed in having the how would I want to put this the spunky savant or whatever actually come across as not being completely obnoxious. Because she seems very professional and competent without having to say "fuck yeah" and stuff. I mean, but she still seems. What is the freaking word I'm trying to look for? She's still precocious, but not in an obnoxious sort of way. So we'll see if she ends up being Wesley Crusher or not. But
It's closer to Chekhov in the movies.
Mm-hmm. And I like when they Pike decided to do away with worrying about the General Order 1, that he literally just said fuck General Order 1. I was like, okay, at least they're being honest about it. That's awesome. Okay.
I don't get why General Order 1 would apply, but who cares? This think it'll be the last time we break the Prime Directive. One thing I liked about this episode, specifically about this episode, not going further into what it seems to mean for the series or just general stuff. This was a fun little twist on the alien invaders, like classic alien abduction, I guess, classic thing where you know it was all in reverse, where you know we're the ones, take me to your leader, and we abducted people and then started experimenting on them.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was fun. This was a fun episode.
I don't know. I thought his final monologue was a little eye rolling, but up until that point, it was.
I was thinking about you when we were watching this and how you love political commentary, and I was like, okay. I was like, Willie's not gonna like this, but okay. It sort of fits into the episode, so I'll allow it. But we really don't need to show actual footage of January 6th more than once in the season. It comes up twice, it's just gratuitous. I'll allow it here. But yeah, I mean, they were literally just showing the feed from Fox News a couple times.
Yeah, that was pretty eye rolling, but I gave it a pass because as a whole, you know, I thought it was. I guess I'm with you guys. It was so. Also looking at it, even though you told me not to do this earlier, it was the first episode of a new series. You know, judging that against season 4, episode 1, and season 2, episode 1, you know, I was much more enthusiastic about what they were trying to do.
I was cautiously optimistic about this series before I watched it, and I am still cautious, but I'm a little bit less cautious and now a little bit more optimistic.
I think the ship was damn pretty. I really liked the classic Enterprise.
Oh yeah, the 1701 has never looked better.
Yeah, that was very, very nice. And you know, I mean, even like the old shuttlecrafts, like looked kind of what I envisaged they would look like with a 60-year special effects facelift. You know,
they did. I mean, they did I think a really. I feel like they were really careful in maintaining the aesthetic and tweaking what they had to tweak. Like for example, the little 3 sliders on the transporter. I think now they're whatever displays. instead of actual physical sliders, but they're still there. And I mean, the bridge looks dead on, just almost.
Yeah.
Well, not dead on, but I mean, it's close.
The civilian doctor may border on a Tilly character if they're not careful, or even a
Civilian
Girardi
doctor.
character.
Oh, Nurse Chapel?
Yeah,
No, she's in
Yeah.
Starfleet. She was on the original series.
I thought they said something specifically about her that was calling attention to her being not a normal doctor for them, but her character in this show, I mean, or at least the way she was portrayed.
She has the potential to be a little bit extra.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
okay
kind
with
of
it.
annoying.
I'm okay with it now. I kind of like the doctor as well.
Yeah, I liked him too.
Mhm.
I thought it was a pretty solid burn on the whole Kirk thing, Lieutenant Kirk.
The little
That's pretty
cock
good.
tease there.
Yep. I got a chuckle. I got a chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, I couldn't decide. I was like, is that good? Is that bad? Because they were just fucking with you the whole episode.
Well, I think it was good to go ahead and piss in the dirt and be like, no, he will not be on the show.
Oh, Sammy Kirk.
Yeah, you got Spock, you got Uhura, you got Pike. There will be no Kirk,
Who's to
or
say
at least
there
he won't be a he won't be a major one yet. How about that?
Okay.
But let's see. You know what they should have done? You know what they should have had fucking 90-year-old Bill Shatner play Samuel Kirk and just be obviously, play something ridiculous that you knew he obviously couldn't have been playing Kirk, but just for a nice shout out. That would have been really ridiculous, but I would have appreciated it.
He should play a Klingon in an episode.
Yeah.
It is
That'd be a good one.
To die.
He would never do that.
How about the intro? By the way, like the
Hold
shot.
on, wait a minute. I want to go back to that.
Back to what?
The best call out that Kirk could possibly do would be he plays a Beta Z or not Betazoid. Which is the one that wears the CPAP machine?
Benzar.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the one Braceface did?
Yeah, Braceface.
I don't remember her.
Yeah, he should come on, but it's actually like a commercial within the show for his CPAP machines. That'd be a pretty solid call out.
God. Oh boy.
Fucking Joe Namath selling Medicare Plan B and Bill Shatner selling CPAP machines. That's all I see when I'm in hotels when I'm on the road. Jesus, I'm like, what did you do with your money?
I know, right? You're a Super Bowl MVP. For the love of God, man.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, I liked the title sequence a lot. All the shots of the ship and then Pike doing his Space: The Final Frontier. And the little TOS jingle.
It was cool.
All right.
So what was the bad?
Let's talk about the bad.
I think we've hit some good here. What was the bad?
Willie, I want to hear your bad.
What was the bad?
Warden, what did you think was bad?
Yeah, you're gonna have to come back to me. I gotta think a little bit.
Well,
I thought I guess I'll go ahead and go. I thought the Spock getting engaged scene was kind of dumb, and
yeah,
it seemed out of place. Like obviously that doesn't stick, right? Or at least if we're gonna stick with canon, that's not gonna stick. And then the whole, I don't know, is it canon that the female Vulcans asked the male Vulcans?
I have no recollection.
Yeah, I thought that whole scene was kind of eye rolling.
Well, I think I think there is an episode where where Spock gets all Ponfari in in the original series. I don't remember.
That's different.
Is it the same character though? Is that T'Pring? Is that the same chick that he's?
Kudos for you for remembering her name.
Um,
Oh, it was pretty. I liked it. Spock, are you naked? He was about to be. Oh, hey, Pringles. What's up?
Pringles.
Spock, are you wearing a necklace? Spock, are you wearing a necklace of tree sap and semen? No, Captain, you are thinking about a different series.
No, but he's not. He's thinking about the same series he's already been on. He's just conflating which season.
That's true. Oh my God! Maybe maybe he's picking it up over the chakra, over the
Maybe that's why they
Vision.
declassified so much about Discovery, was because Anson Mount just kept fucking up his lines, being like, no, you remember it was like on Discovery when we did this? And like, God damn it, declassify that. So
They did do this is just like a. Oh, it was when they had to run down the patient. They're like, it's like Centauri 7. And then they said that a couple times. And those are always silly.
yeah. Why would you only take one officer and 2 astrophysicists on a whole ship?
Because they were on spring break and she was just doing an extra credit assignment. And it was going to be a nice, easy first contact. I mean, they had this one in the bag, they thought.
Warp bomb. I'm still a little fuzzy. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're getting
maybe the
bad.
bad thing. Maybe the
How-
bad thing. Go
How
for it.
do you exactly reverse engineer warp drive, whatever, a warp engine, a warp matrix from telescopes?
I wondered that too.
Mhm.
This seemed a little grabby.
Like, there's nothing in there to indicate that they're like, I'm sure you see them moving around and they were just like, oh shit, they went fast. Let's build a warp bomb.
Right. It's
Like,
the equivalent of me it's the equivalent of me having seen Star Trek and then like going up into my workshop and furiously scribbling around on paper until I develop a warp drive. It's not quite the same. But
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it's like somebody left Mr. Fusion on their front porch on accident.
Yeah, I mean, at least if they'd have been like, it was a crash ship or something, but it's just like, they saw us, Captain. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that one was that part didn't land, but
I mean, like, if you, there are natives that like worshipped cargo planes in World War II because stuff fell out of them and washed up on the shore. They didn't build their own cargo planes because they're like, oh shit, you can do that? Well, I guess we know how now that we've seen it. Like, there's
Yeah.
steps involved.
Yeah.
And okay.
well, no,
I mean,
this analogy is even worse. It would have to be they saw a cargo plane and they built an IED as a result of it.
but yeah, from looking at it, they said, internal combustion engine, not great bird in the sky, specifically internal combustion engine.
Yeah.
There's a theme running through these that some of the science doesn't make any goddamn sense. That's okay. Like I don't understand how like the starbase looked cool. We built it around the forest that grew up. So I'm like, wait, you said you sent seeds up. So really you meant you sent giant biodomes up? How did the forest get too big to bring back home? Because the forest is not going to just grow in space. Like, it had to have been in those domes, and the domes themselves did not grow any bigger. Like, what do you mean you built it around the forests? When you sent the seeds up, did you also send enough water, soil, carbon dioxide for them to.
Let's not think too hard about it, man.
Mm.
It was just another metaphor for fresh starts. Oh wait, I'm
No,
jumping
you're
shows here.
Yeah, you're
Damn it!
jumping
God.
shows.
Well,
No, this was another environmental message for you, Willie. They gotta hit. Look, they gotta hit you over the head with it, or you don't pick it up.
that's right. They do.
Yeah, there's still a good bit of that, regardless.
I think it says a lot about how good the show was that most of my bads were nitpicky, like the fact that they did away with the skirts from the original series, and for whatever reason, Pike's hair is not working for me.
No, it is not. He looked a lot better with his beard and shaggy hair.
You agree? Kind of,
You
kind of
know,
like Captain Christopher Christopherson Pike.
like I was watching that and I'm like, is this Kirk making breakfast for that chick before he rides off on horseback with Picard? It was actually really close to that scene when it was all said and done. This is the day I'm going back to Starfleet.
Least I can do for a captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Did you have a bad Warden or Jeeper?
My bad was exactly what you guys just said about the ship that went out originally had 3 people on it. It normally takes hundreds of people to run it, but you're going to send out a ship with just 3 people on it.
And then put all 3 people on the away mission.
Yeah,
That may have been the dumber part.
yeah, that as well. And then the hubris of it all was the just the way he went to the planet and like just blew off all regulations. It seems like that's becoming a recurring thing with all of the shows, is that we're all part of this federation, but none of us are going to follow the rules.
The regulations exist so we can go ooh when they break them.
Yeah. But maybe because they made a point of saying like, hey, look, I really had to spin this out of my ass to keep y'all out of jail. Maybe they'll walk the straight and narrow now and won't be doing that anymore.
Why didn't they shoot the other ship? When the Enterprise got there, they started firing plasma torpedoes at them. So obviously,
Seconds after they raised the shields.
Well, why didn't they blow up the other ship that was up there? Just sitting there.
Well, they had the whole crew.
Well, because
How do they know they had the whole crew?
Didn't they
They
put the shields up, which is what caused them to fire? Or no, they were getting ready to fire anyway.
I think we could poke endless holes in this because I wondered why putting shields up as a defensive posture would violate General Order 1 anyway. And I'm with you, Jeep. Like, if they put the shields up, why would you fire on them? And how would you know that they put the shields up?
I think that it was coming anyway. I was just showing you how prescient Little Khan was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give my bad, and then I'm going to go into my hubris. The bad is, I mean, it's early, but I don't think I like this Nurse Chapel.
That's fair.
I just don't see how this person transitions into Majel Barrett at all. I mean,
they're banking on most people not remembering anything about her character.
So, I mean, again, like you said, that's a nitpicky thing. And I'll get over it. The thing that I thought was the hubris is Lon Noonien Singh. Are we really going to that well again? Are we really going to do that? Are we really doing Khan again? in some form or another. Really.
He was the best villain. He was the best villain of the original cast, though. You've got to.
The thing is that, I mean...
You mean not Harry Mudd?
Is it even plausible that these major figures would interweave all this? I mean, it's just... I don't know.
Maybe it's like Kirk. Maybe it's a red herring and it's just a name. I don't think it is, though, because I think her wanting to feel the pain when her genome was manipulated is probably somehow tied to her being genetically enhanced, or her people's being genetically enhanced. I could be off base there. It could be related to the whole survivor guilt thing, but
but either way, I'm just like, oh, come on. I just...
Maybe Noonien Singh is a real popular name in India at the time. Wasn't he from India?
I thought he was supposed to be,
Central Asia, yeah. So somewhere in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic, but whenever I hear something that's an obvious nostalgic callback, I roll my eyes, because there's a place for nostalgia, and then there's just cheaply trying to draw on it to please viewers. You know, like the shuttle Stamets. I was like, oh, come on. You know, if they're supposed to be classified, why are you gonna name a fucking shuttle after him?
Well, I will say the official story is he's dead. So it's kind of a memorial thing. But then in my brain, I'm like, okay, he died a hero of the Federation and you name a fucking shuttle after him?
True. You know, but and then the
Noonien
Singh thing.
I don't even know what the official story is on where they went, on how they were lost.
I just wait. We'll probably declassify it pretty soon.
Right. It could be named after the Paul Stamets that's alive now. That they shamelessly stole that name for the character.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I just whenever they start pulling that in, it's hard for me to have an open receiving mind when they start doing that shit. It just bothers me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a pessimist. But
yeah, I guess my possible bad is kind of, well, I already said the reverse engineering the warp was a little bit of a stretch, whatever. If they don't continue with the whole theme of Pike dealing with kind of his PTSD and knowing his future, I'll be disappointed in that. I hope it wasn't just, like I said earlier, I think, he had the conversation with Connie Jr., whatever. And
Con Jr.
King of the Hill reference there.
That's right, very nice.
It wasn't like, oh, well, by the end he's learned that, time is what you make of it, and whatever, the more you know moment is gone, and now we've gotten that out of the way, and we're going to keep going. I hope that's not it. Willie, did you have a hubris, a moment of sheer fucking hubris?
Oh man, of sheer fucking hubris, and we're still defining that as a writer's wet dream.
Look, I don't care how you define it.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Well, I guess mine would have been the bad. The bad would have been the reverse engineering stuff. The hubris stuff would have been all the callbacks, specifically the Noonien Singh first officer thing. And I mean, it's obvious they're going to play that up, because why else would they go into details about the Gorn story, and they just send off one, to tell the tale. I mean, what is it, like hanging the one dead crow in your backyard? Like, I don't understand. I just don't. I don't know, man.
So, do Gorn reproduce like like the xenomorphs and aliens? Didn't they say
Apparently
something about
so.
making them into
Yeah,
an
they
egg?
said,
type?
yeah, so
Holy shit!
breeding vessels or just eating them alive. Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
puts a whole new spin on Kirk versus that Gorn dude. He was, all topless and sweaty. He's like, I won't be your breeding
Oh,
wench.
man. Oh, gee. So do you think that
I,
they're going to do you think that early on in the season they're going to take Pike down to the menagerie planet to go ahead and uh, establish that so that then when he does have his boo box moment, Spock can take him back there?
no,
Mm-mm.
Spock's already been there. I don't need to take Pike. All right, so this feeds into my hubris. It doesn't feed into my personal hubris. That's what this whole show is for. But that kind of goes along with what I picked for the hubris over this. So they've it's gonna take balls either way. I think at this point, because if I think Pike is gonna be a real fan favorite. And if they stick to their guns and put him in the boo box, I think a lot of people are gonna actually be disappointed. I think it'll take some level of balls to stick with that and avoid the temptation to let him weasel his way out, retcon it. But at the same time, uh, it would also take balls to do that. Now that you've made so much of his arc, I mean, so much of his arc in the first episode, and at least made a big deal about how that's affecting him and how he's dealing with it. So either way they go, I think is
No, but
it's
you got 10
it's
years to
small.
resolve it. You can get 10 seasons out of it. I thought that was actually pretty good when he did say it was like, oh, it's a decade from now. I don't exactly know
I'm
how he
surprised
figured
it's
out
that
that it was
far
a
away.
decade from then, but
I'm surprised he figured it. I'm surprised it's that far away.
yeah, that's kind of what I thought too.
I thought we were closer to the original series than 10 years, but obviously not. I mean, I am totally sure that they checked the timelines and did all their homework. So I don't know. Did anybody else have any? Well, I didn't feel like there was a lot of hubris in this. Pike had some hubris, thinking he could pull off that hair. I was a straight guy going on about the hair. I don't know.
I mean, I was gonna avoid saying that. It did pop into my head. But who am I to judge? So
Cheaper.
What?
That was very aggressive. I should have been more like, so toaster cheaper. That's one of those we would edit. Anyway. So between Kobayashi Maru, The Stargazer, and Strange New Worlds, what's your pick for good?
Good is definitely Strange New World.
What is your pick for Hubris?
Picard. Absolutely Picard.
Leaving Kobayashi Maru as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Biblio Warden.
Mhm.
Give me your good, your bad, and your sheer fucking hubris.
It's exactly the same. Good is Strange New Worlds. Bad is the Kobayashi Maru, and unquestionably Picard season, whatever it's the Stargazer, is dripping with hubris. Perhaps appropriately, since that's the series that the name of this damn show comes from.
Well, I said when we started this that I felt like this was a good trial run because there's one for me that was clearly good, and that's Strange New Worlds. There's one that's clearly bad, and that's Kobayashi Maru. And there's one that, for me, harkens back to season 1 of Discovery, which was, that their reach exceeded their grasp. There was hubris with that series, that season, and I feel like this definitely giving me strong season 1 Discovery vibes on Picard. So, Mr. Willie, give us something different. Or are you going to just agree with us too?
Well, that's my same rating, but honestly, like I could probably take Discovery and Picard and flip them. I mean, that the first episode of Picard, it was also bad. Like it's not just that it had hubris. It wasn't just a hubris rating. It was bad. Like and Discovery, if you I think you could make the argument that a lot of the whole Michael Burnham interactions with the president and I think there was some hubris in there too, but I do think that I think ultimately I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. Strange New World's good, Discovery bad, Picard hubris.
Mr. Jeeper.
Yes.
Who is your pick for good, bad, and hubris between Joe Bob, Mr. Willie, and Warden?
Oh, God.
Oh, I mean, this is absolutely. I mean, Willie's good. Bad is Warden. And of course, your fucking hubris is you.
That was the correct answer. All right. So
Let me ask you this though. All right, let me ask you this
Lord.
to the group. Okay, so I think we all can agree that Strange New Worlds probably has the most promise of all of them right now. Which one, Discovery or Picard, do you think has a better chance of pulling itself out of the ditch based on season 1? I mean, based on episode 1.
Discovery.
Card.
Picard.
I actually I'm going to go with Discovery on that one too.
I've just been there, done that with Discovery.
But
Fool
I've
me
been there,
once.
done that with Picard.
Fool me once, shame on Glenn. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times just because you had a retard scream and break everything.
Well, I guess for me it's that I'm gonna give them a little bit of a cleaner slate to play with in season 4 Discovery. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's gonna be good, but I'm saying it took them 3 seasons to finally do what they wanted to do, which was make Burnham captain, right? So we're not having to deal with that anymore, right? Tilly's a lieutenant. Maybe she's not going to be so annoying. But I feel like the whole Picard thing, we're just setting it up to just be a what's the best way to describe this? Just a perfect example of the writers not having any guardrails. Not that Discovery has many, but at least they took 3 seasons to kind of dismantle their own guardrails. Picard kind of went right off from the get-go. That's all I worry where they're going to take Picard. I know Discovery's going to go somewhere bonkers.
Well, Discovery is at least forging its own path at this point. Picard is going to be a whole lot of member berries.
Yeah.
There will be references and guest stars aplenty, methinks.
Well, maybe that's the problem. I said earlier that the whole callback thing kind of annoys me, and that's what I expect a lot of Picard to be.
You think it'll be major characters that they pull in, or you think we'll see a whole lot of like guest actors that were, in like 1 or 2 episodes?
I think there'll be at least in season 2, it's still going to be mostly a couple here and there. I think in season
A
3,
couple what?
a couple major guest appearances. Maybe toward the end, because I have a feeling that they're going to, at least for a while, not be in the normal timeline, shall we say. But I think that if there were going to be a lot of guest appearances, they may come in another season. That's just my feeling. But
Oh yeah, they're in like a different. Yeah, I forgot they went to the mirror universe or alternate dimension. Oh,
Universe.
maybe the reason they need a shield is because the Borg are everywhere.
No, I think we're going to just be totally smacked in the face with more environmentalism, where because we were such a warmongering society, we just depleted all of our natural resources and destroyed our planet, and
Locusts.
we mined and we delved too deeply and all that bullshit, and
And
we basically just destroyed everything. That is where I think we're going with that 100%. Because they didn't say like interplanetary defense shield. They called it like the solar shield or something like that. The hole in the ozone layer got too big.
They definitely call this show Demon of the Ancient World. Shadow and Flame. Yeah. Maybe that. I mean, see, again, I feel like they were trying to set something up that might actually have me interested. But I think it's going to play out more like a bunch of just, nostalgia tricks and, hey, let's see what Tasha Yar's like in this fucked up timeline.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I could see either one of them being better. The only one I'm going to be disappointed in if it's bad is Strange New Worlds, because it feels like it has real potential.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess to be fair, after Discovery 1-1 and Picard 1-1, I was none too excited about them as I was Strange New Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So it at least has accomplished more in one episode than either of those two did.
Right.
Yeah, and that's partially a product of the type of show that it seems to be going for.
Yeah.
I guess the strange thing about it is it sort of felt like a Star Trek episode.
Yeah. Well, and the other weird thing is it's going to be interesting because they are still pulling in ongoing stuff. You can tell that there's going to be things that they ideally will keep talking about to some degree. And they're going to show that you can do it.
Well, DS9 showed you could do it. DS9 was a wonderful balance.
Mm-hmm.
I might even be willing to say the perfect balance of you've got the season arc, but you've got individual stories.
Mm-hmm.
Shows with episodes that have a beginning, middle, and end, an arc, a conflict, a resolution. And I mean, there were some like 3-parters, obviously. and a lot of two-parters. I think there's one three-parter, but for the most part, the bulk of the episodes were actual episodes, not chapters in a 12-hour movie. Just follow that formula,
Hmm.
but don't go the mirror universe. I don't want to see the mirror universe in Strange New Worlds.
Please don't.
Please.
I want a
Unless
little bit
Lorca's
of
there.
unless Lorca's there.
You think Section 32 will pop up?
Okay, and what will Section 32 be?
What was it, Section 32? 31. Sorry,
It's
Section
31.
31. Fuck, Warden. Cut me some damn slack.
Yes, I know. Reproductive hangover.
That's right. Yep. Well, it depends. You think they're gonna use, because they kind of used Discovery as a soft launch. It felt like for it, but we haven't gotten it there yet. So maybe they'll roll that in again. Because when she went through the I don't know, the multiverse of madness or whatever on that snow planet, did she go back in time too?
Yes.
She did, right? She went back. Not
Yes.
only did she go back,
Yes, she went back to a time when the two universes were closer together, because that was the
yeah.
problem. They were
So
so far apart.
sh-
She was getting out of phase.
so she's theoretically back there now, or at least close
Mhm.
by,
So
theoretically.
they could pick her up in Strange New Worlds. That's a good point.
And did Pike did interface with her?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, they had an overlapping season there. So
Yes, and he's they had some tension. So
oh boy. Oh boy.
oh boy, indeed.
All right. Well, I'm
I'm
excited
looking
about
forward to two
my
of the three
twos.
next episodes.
Yeah.
Although it's a very different, excited Picard. It's more like looking at a train wreck. And I'm genuinely interested in the next Strange
Mhm.
New Worlds. That Discovery episode was a chore to get through.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back next week with second installment of sheer fucking hubris, the good, the bad, and the hubris. I am Joe Bob. With me again was Willie, Warden, and Toaster Jeeper. And we will catch you on the flip side. Warden, make it go.
Okay. This is sheer fucking hubris signing off.
Fucked up that outro. You're the one that says everybody's name. I knew that did not feel right or organic. God damn it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I mean, I'm not really upset about it. A lot of shows say we do this for the fans. I know we got a lot of fans out there listening. And I'm glad you're there, but we don't do it for you. It's a vanity project.